Let's look in now at a soliloquy, and we'll notice a brother who's reading a newspaper. Let's see what happens.
Well, that's it. I am so sick of this delinquent party. All they ever do is make trouble. I just can't believe that they're out there. I would really like to support some other party. Maybe the Juvenile Party. Yes, I think I might do that.
Uh-oh. Is this brother remaining neutral? Now, although he may never vote in a political election, has he actually taken sides? Is he truly remaining no part of this world? Well, let's look at a different scenario. Another brother reading the same newspaper, but let's see how he reacts.
What a mess. This newspaper contains articles that show this world is in a mess. It's good to know, though, that God's kingdom will solve all of the problems that mankind faces. It's so obvious that man's political parties cannot solve the problems of the world. Only God's kingdom can do it. As it says in Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 23, it does not belong to man who is walking even to direct his own step. What a blessing it is to know the truth and not to be part of the world.
Well, clearly this brother has safeguarded his heart and isn't taking sides with regard to politics. But the question, which brother are you? It's important for us to think about that, because we don't know in what ways we will be tested in the future, but we do know we must remain neutral. Jesus set a fine example in anticipating certain situations. Well, likewise, we need to be careful. If we see something coming our way, it's good to be prepared. Our brothers in the United States set a very good example after 9/11, with the Twin Towers being demolished. Most of America wore little flags as pins to show that they were united at that particular time of crisis. Well, of course, our brothers didn't wear those little flags. You can imagine that became quite an issue. But many of them thought ahead. And when persons challenged them and said, "Why aren't you wearing one of these flags?" the brothers simply said, "Well, I express my sorrow and grief in a different manner." And that just helped to alleviate the whole problem. So at times, by thinking ahead, having a proper answer, we can follow the example of Jesus and being able to give a good answer at the right time. But on the other hand, at times these things come out of the blue, as it were. We just don't see it coming. What must we do if that happens? We must pray to Jehovah to seek his help, to ask him that we stand firm. We have to face this issue head on and prove that we are totally in support of God's kingdom. And in that way, we'll make sure that we don't in any way have the mark of the wild beast either on our forehead or in our hand. In other words, we don't actively support political issues, and we don't mentally or emotionally have part in them either. Let's look at a final scripture in 1 John chapter 2 and verse 17. 1 John chapter 2 and verse 17. Furthermore, the world is passing away, and so is its desire. But the one who does the will of God remains forever. Brothers and sisters, we don't want to be part of that world that is passing away. Notice it's not only the world, but also its desires that will go. In order for us to do that, we must make sure and be determined that in our hearts and our minds, we are no part of this world.